I'll kick off this review by saying thank you Mahindra for showing us it's actually possible to produce a premium quality reliable SUV without charging crazy amounts of money. Welcome to the Mahindra XUV700. In this review, I decided to take this Mahindra on a road trip just so we can get to know it better. And as always, like with all road trips, we saw some interesting things along the way. And during said road trip, we'll discuss its features, its practicality, and the cost of ownership. So, without wasting any of your time, let us get started. Before we talk about the road trip, let me just say Mahindra has really leveled up. This is a great looking vehicle. It's got a new logo, and if you don't know it's a Mahindra, you won't know it's a Mahindra because you won't find the name Mahindra anywhere on this car. Except of course if you look on that sticker. Everywhere I went, people were asking me, what car is this? I kid you not, at one petrol station they thought I was driving a Maserati. I know there's someone sitting there thinking, it's true though, they really thought it was a Maserati. Anyway, back to our road trip. So we woke up early in the morning and started our journey. It was very foggy that morning, very foggy. Anyway, the Mahindra XUV700 comes with a 2-liter turbocharged petrol engine. It has a 6-speed automatic gearbox and it produces 149 kilowatts and 380 newton meters of torque. As you can see, the weather was bad, but the lights in this car are proper. Whether it's load shedding, whether it's fog or mist, night or day, you'll see where you're going. And while Mahindra is well known for their excellent diesel engines, I would just like to commend the petrol engine in the XUV700. It's really good. You'll never find yourself lacking power, failing to overtake. In fact, you'll find yourself battling to avoid catching speeding tickets. That's how good it is. It's rapid, it's quick, and it's more than enough for long distance cruising, and the suspension, comfortable. Proper. Now that we've spoken about part of the driving, let's pause on the road trip for now and take a look at its interior. Now, the interior itself is a major highlight of the whole experience. That is a clean look with 2 screens in front of you. As you can see, it has wireless Android Auto and coming soon. That coming soon is for Apple CarPlay. I don't know if later models have had the update, but the model I had didn't have Apple CarPlay. That's why I'm waving around my Samsung A32. But you also have wireless charging, which is always a nice touch. You can adjust your air conditioning controls over there, dual zone climate control, that's your gear, your electric handbrake, and you can adjust your volume using that knob. And unlike the Scorpio N, you've got 2 cup holders. Thank you, Mahindra. That is your steering wheel. All the controls to control your digital instrument display are over there, and your adaptive cruise control. I'll talk more about it a little bit later on. And moving on to the center of your Mahindra, you'll notice it has a proper armrest for you to rest your hand on. But inside, it is actually cooled so you can keep your drinks. Oh, there's a 20 rand there. You can buy 1 loaf of bread with it. Yeah, that's our new 20 rand. To our international viewers, that's our new 20 rand. Anyway, moving on. Coming back to our road trip, how beautiful is that view? And as you can see, the sun was rising. There was still a bit of fog, well, a lot of fog as you'll soon see, but still a beautiful sight nonetheless. And guys, please clap hands for PA for the excellent camera work as always. Thank you, PA. We appreciate you. Now, I just realized I haven't even told you where we're going. We were traveling to Tsanin, which is around 400 kilometers from our starting point. The purpose of the road trip was to find Ebenezer Dam. You see that dam over there? That is not Ebenezer Dam, but I'll explain more later. Let me tell you about the safety features. This car has a 5-star global NCAP safety rating. It has 7 airbags and it has what is called the ADAS system. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but what it basically means is it has adaptive cruise control. As you know, with adaptive cruise control, the car will accelerate and brake itself in relation to the car in front of you. And while I didn't show it in this review, the steering wheel will steer to keep you in lane as well. You also get traffic sign recognition, so you always know what speed you should be moving at. You also have high beam assist, which will adjust your headlights if it senses another oncoming car so you don't dazzle other drivers. While we're there, let's take a quick look at the back seats. You'll notice there is more than enough knee and legroom. You have rear air vents, and you also have a USB Type-C connector at the back. Now, I don't know about this feature because some naughty kids will be moving their mom back and forth while she's sleeping on the front seat. Anyway, you have a center armrest with 2 cup holders, and that is a seat belt for whoever is sitting in the middle row. The floor is practically flat, so everyone should be fairly comfortable. Headroom is sufficient and no one should have a problem, but if you decide, hey, I need more space in this car, well, Mahindra has you covered because this is a 7-seater. I'll teleport to the back seats and let you know that this last row of seats, in my opinion, is more comfortable than the one in the Ford Everest Platinum. You've got rear air vents, you can adjust the fan speed over there, there's a 12-volt socket, and you have a cup holder for your drink. And just above your head, you'll notice there's a speaker, just so you don't miss out on the music while you're sitting at the back. Safety first, guys. Even if you're sitting at the back, always wear your seat belt. And depending on your height, your head will brush on the ceiling, so this is more for children or short journeys. And speaking of journeys, don't forget we're still on the road trip. Along the road trip, we saw that truck. I have no idea what's going on, so yeah, that's it about the truck. Anyway, while we go to our stop, you'll notice it has a 360-degree view camera. And irrespective of this car's size, it's actually very easy to park and maneuver around. Speaking of around, during our break, we went by KFC where I spun this wheel around. Yeah, I actually won a prize. If you want to see it, let me know and I'll show you in one of my upcoming reviews. But it's time to get back on the road. And while this car is reversing, for those of you who want to see it from the back, that is what it looks like from the back. I'm not really a big fan of its rear design. I much prefer the way it looks from the front. No pun intended, but they really nailed the front. Now, coming back to our road trip, because we waited such a long time at our stop, we had to go past this truck again. It had a serious load. And speaking of loads, you guys want to know about the boot space, so I decided not to use my suitcase this time. Instead, I sat on the boot myself. But one thing about Mahindra, finding the actual boot capacity in liters is not easy. I couldn't find it on their website, so I'll just say it's a big boot. More than enough space to fit anything. In fact, even with all the seats up, you can actually still squeeze in a PA-sized suitcase. Nice. That tailgate is very light as well. And for those of you who haven't liked this video, please like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Support local YouTube, guys. It's the right thing to do. And I am currently on one of my favorite roads, Mahubaskloof. If you want to test the car's handling, this is the best place to do it. As you can see on the GPS, the road has a lot of twists and turns. Just drive nicely, don't speed, but it's an excellent road and the Mahindra handled itself very well. By the way, you are actually currently watching what was meant to be the 30,000 subscriber special, but because we're already at 31,000 subscribers, this is the 30 and 31,000 subscriber special. So thank you so much for the support, guys. Thank you for sharing the channel on your WhatsApp, on your Twitter, on your Instagram, wherever. I can't believe there's still people who don't know Mr. How Much, but we'll get to them. We'll get to them. The goal, 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That's the goal. And to all my viewers in India, I see you. I know how much you love this car, and it's an excellent car. So let's talk about how much it will cost us over here in South Africa. In terms of prices, well, this car is a bargain. Very well priced. It comes in at 559,999 Rand. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, it has a panoramic sunroof. Mahindra likes to call it a sky roof, but I like sunroof, so I'll call it a sunroof. Anyway, on finance, it will cost you 10,948 Rand over 6 years at 12% interest rate. A full tank will cost you 1,348 Rand at the current fuel price. And if you got an insurance premium of 2,200 Rand, it would bring your total cost of ownership to 14,496 Rand. And just to put into perspective how affordable the XUV700 is, the Fiat 500X, I reviewed it a couple of months back. Remember that car? It comes in at 20,000 Rand more than this one. And in terms of size, it's not even a contest really. In terms of features, this has way more features. So this is an affordable car. But just because it's affordable doesn't mean they cut corners anyway. The build quality is solid. The engine is solid. Honestly, I struggled to find things I didn't like, which brings me on to the good and the bad. What was the bad of this car? Simple. The fact that it didn't have Apple CarPlay, but that's an easy fix because once they do the software update, everything should be fine. The second thing I didn't like is the stop-start system. And it's not only on this car, it's also on the Scorpio N as well. If you haven't seen my Scorpio N review, I'll leave a link in the description below. For those of you who've been curious, those are 18-inch alloy wheels which you get in this top spec AX7L model. The name of the color you're looking at is called Electric Blue. And for me, if I were to buy this car, that's the color I would go for. You get these nice smart door handles. They look very nice. The only catch with them is people know when your car is not locked, but they're very clean, they're very neat, and they impressed a lot of people along the way. And I think you've waited long enough to hear me say, well done, Mahindra. Well done. Another interesting feature Mahindra added is this. If you indicate to the left, for example, that is what you'll see on your screen. But I would personally prefer a normal blind spot monitoring system over this. And one other thing I noticed, it doesn't have folding mirrors for some reason. And seeing as we're parked by a Shell garage, let me give you the fuel consumption. As you can see on the screen, it says 10 kilometers per liter. People usually mix that up. That simply means for every 1 liter, your vehicle will travel 10 kilometers, but to convert it to our normal standard, it is 10 liters per 100 kilometers. By the way, I'm including this scene for a reason. If ever you see someone closing up portals for you, just support them, guys. It's not that hard. We drove by this place called Nkoangoa. It's got terrible portals, so this man was there like covering up the portals, making sure everyone goes home, and I was like, let me support local business, you know. It's the right thing to do, guys. It's always good to encourage people who are helping out the community. So if you see him or see someone in your neighborhood doing that, just give them something. There's nothing as painful as hitting a pothole and having to replace a tire and your rim. Just saying. Coming back to our road trip, we actually never found Ebenezer Dam. Instead, we found another dam called Mahubaskloof Dam. So we went there instead. For those of you who've seen the video on TikTok, it was at this place where we tested out the 12-speaker Sony Sound System. So if you're a music lover, you're going to love that sound system. It's proper. Sing-alongs, drive-alongs, everywhere you're going, you'll just be having a good time listening to Abom Niga there. Niga. And one last thing before I send you guys off, I actually haven't even given you the service plan. It comes with a very generous 5-year 100,000 kilometer service plan and a 5-year 150,000 kilometer warranty. And if you're wondering what you're looking at, this is just to illustrate if ever you have an argument with your significant other, you can always slip in your Mahindra XUV700. Plenty of space. I'm sure you could even fit a fridge in here. It's big. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to check out my sponsor, changecars.co.za. They now have over 25,000 new or used cars for you to choose from, and they've partnered with Discovery Insurance. So if you're looking for quotes or anything vehicle related, you'll find it on their website. I'll leave a link in the description. Before you leave and before you type in the comments, I didn't forget, I've decided to name this car Sanjay. As for your end credit scene today, I'll throw in some additional clips from the road trip for you, but from me to you, until the next one, take care.